how to align your daily plans with your long-term goals. So don't forget that there is a free workbook that goes along with this class today. It's a 7-page activity workbook that's really going to help you guys to work through these classes. There's prompts and pages dedicated for each of the activities that we're going to do. So this, like I said, this workshop isn't just about learning, it's about implementation. I want you to apply what you learn to balance your life. This is not just another video that you're going to listen to and not take action on. This isn't like a podcast episode that you're just listening to feel motivated while you do the dishes or take a walk, right? I want you guys to walk away from this class with actions to take and a plan to make it happen, right? So you're going to use the workbook to complete each activity, and by the end of class, you will have a plan for your more balanced and successful life. The link to the workbook was in your emails. If you were on my email list and you registered for this ahead of time, the link for the workbook's in there. If not, I believe that I put the link to register for the workshop down below in the description box, so you can check that out. And I think what happens is if you sign up, it will forward you immediately over to the download page for now while the class is live. And then after class is live and I wrap things up, I'll have it better organized with the replay later. One of the trickiest things to balance in life is how to remain in touch with our long-term goals so that we are taking action on a regular basis to make them happen. This is where my annual goal setting method comes into play. My annual goal setting method being You Got Goals, the workshop series. We don't have enough time today for me to complete like a full goal planning session with you, but I want to give you the basics to get you started in the right direction with the following activities. So we're going to first define your priorities and goals for the year. So to begin, you need to define your priorities for the year. That's step 1 in this process. So I want you to think about your priorities as the key areas of your life that you want to set or maintain standards in. So these might include relationships, health, career, personal development, or other areas that matter most to you. When identifying your priorities, don't just think of general categories, but think about the specific people, institutions, and establishments that you want to create or grow. So when your priorities are actually tied to real tangible things, that means that you have the ability to look at that thing and see the changes that your actions are making, and then you have such a stronger why for making your goals happen. So here's the thing. You have to be priority number 1 on your list. So when you write this priority list out, right, we've got on the worksheet, there are 5 sections for you to list out priorities. In the first box, you are going to put yourself, your own name, right? Because if you don't take care of yourself, it's impossible to show up fully for other priorities or people in your life. So after yourself, you can set up to 4 more priorities for your year, but you don't have to fill them all up, right? If you only want to put 1 or 2, that's totally fine. Now, why it's important to limit it? Because when everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. So narrowing your focus helps you to achieve clarity and make meaningful progress. Now, this does not mean that these 5, if you say 5 or 3, however many priorities, it doesn't mean that these are going to be your priorities for the rest of your life. They are just your priorities right now in 2025, right? That you are going to focus on because there are standards that you want to set or maintain in order to reach that balanced, successful life that you're looking for. So once you've identified your priorities, you can set 1 to 3 goals for each priority. And that's what we've got on the worksheet. So you have the ability to write in the priorities and then 3 slots for goals for each of them, up to 3. Again, if you are someone who is really new to this, I do not want to encourage anyone to be like maxing this out, right? But this is like the framework for my You Got Goals structure. So if you are newer to this, do less, choose less, right? I don't want you to overwhelm yourself like needlessly. So goals are the outcomes that you want to achieve in each area, right? So if the priority is like who or what your goals, reflect or a reflection of, the goals are what you want to achieve, okay? So it's better to have fewer targets, I think, and go further with them in a year than to spread your energy too thin and have like so many, like 3 goals, right? And maybe spread your energy too thin. So do what you think is right for you, but just keep those sorts of limits in mind. Now we're going to take a moment to write down your top 1 to 5 priorities and 1 to 3 goals for each of them you'd like to achieve. And I'm going to give us 5 minutes for this. Okay, so hopefully you were able to get some good work done there, identifying some priorities and some goals. If you need more time, again, I know that this is a very short period of time, but we need to move on. But if you need more time, absolutely continue working on this or pause the video, whatever you need to do. Now, the next thing we need to do is to decide your objectives for each goal. So once you've identified your goals, it's time to decide on what your objectives are going to be. So these are the actions that you're going to take to make your goals happen. So the goal is what you want. The objective is how you're going to make it happen. Now, objectives, they come in one of three forms. They can either be a project, a system, or a habit. So projects are multi-step action plans with a clear endpoint. So once you complete the steps, the project is done. Examples would be launching a website or organizing your home office. Systems. These are recurring multi-step actions that you need to maintain a certain outcome. So you're going to do them on a recurring basis in order to reach or maintain a certain outcome. So an example of this would be like weekly meal planning or managing your household finances. That's not just something you do once. It's something you're going to do like on a weekly or on a monthly or a quarterly basis, right? Depending on what the item is. Habits. These are individual actions that you do on, again, a regular basis to help you reach or maintain an outcome. So an example here could be daily journaling or taking a morning walk, right? This is something you would be doing not just once, you're going to do it over and over again. So for every goal, there are multiple ways to achieve it. This means that you can choose a path that plays to your strengths and fits your resources and aligns with the time that you have available. One of the worst things I can see, I deal with when it comes to helping people set their goals and their objectives is one of the worst mindsets, I should say, is the idea that you think there's only one way to achieve your goal. And because you do not have the time or the resources to do that, you think the goal is impossible. This is where creative problem solving really has to come into play. There are so many ways to achieve every goal. I can't imagine like that I have never actually thought of any goal where there was really just one way to achieve it. You know what I mean? Like there are going to be other ways for you to achieve anything that you're trying to go after. And I want you to get creative and think of other ways. And if you can't think of any other ways, I want you to do some research. I want you to ask other people and ask them how they think something needs to be done, right? It may require you to expand your definition or expectations of the goal, but I promise you there's more than one way to do anything. So I want you to, right now, I'm going to set a 3-minute timer. And what you're going to do is I want you to think about one of your goals right now and brainstorm what kind of objectives you might use to achieve it. Now, you have a whole page here in the workbook where you can list out the goal and you can list out like maybe the different objectives that you can think of and the type of objective it is, if it's a project, a system, or a habit, right? Because that will help you to identify how often you need to do it or schedule it. But I want you to brainstorm the objectives that you might use to achieve a goal. We'll only do it right now for one, right? Because we don't have a ton of time. But once you get the hang of this, you'll be able to come back and do it for the rest of them. And here, instead of just listening to music, I'm going to give you guys some more ideas just to help you. Let's say a goal you had was to start a side hustle for 2025, right? Start your own business. One of the objectives that you might want to do for it is to create a website, right? Maybe one of your goals is to organize your home, right, this year. Then one of your objectives might be to, take one of your rooms at a time, like your home office, right? Or your bedroom, and like declutter it, right? And then another objective might be to reorganize things. And another objective might be to buy new pieces of furniture or new pieces of storage that you might need to optimize the area, right? So these are all individual objectives. Maybe one of your goals is to like improve your health in some marker of health. Then maybe what you might do for that is like work out regularly. That's a habit. You might meal plan, right? That would be a system. You might follow like a specific diet. Again, that would be like another habit or a system, depending on how you approach it. They're similar, just, it's just how you think about it would be different. Another objective you might set for like a health goal might be to get more sleep, right? It might be to meditate, right? In order to help you relieve stress. If the health marker you're trying to improve might be stress related, things like that. So there are so many different things that you can do in order to hit a goal, right? If your goal is to start a business, what kind of products are you going to sell? What platforms are you going to use, right? You could be a YouTuber to promote your business. You could go on Instagram to promote your business. You could start a blog just to promote your business, right? There's so many different options. And that's what I'm trying to say, that don't just think about this, that there's only one right way. There are multiple different ways, right? So let's say you're starting a business and you're like, I have no money. I'm starting a business. I can't build out an expensive website. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so if you don't have a lot of money, then you're probably going to start with a business that you're going to be able to do digitally, something you're going to be able to do for like free or low cost, online, or like a service that you could provide, right? So that there's not any upfront costs associated with that necessarily, depending on what the service is. And then maybe you'll use a free platform to promote, right? How many businesses out there right now do like digital printables and they're using Instagram? And you know how much money they're likely spending? Zero, right? Zero would be their upfront cost for that, right? Now they could be spending money in different areas, but these are just some examples. So I'm glad the examples are helpful to you. I know that can sometimes be a point of where people will get confused between the goals and the objectives. The goals are what it is that you want to achieve, like this vision, this feeling that you want to achieve. The objectives are how you're going to make it happen. And the objectives can be, you could have millions of objectives for different goals. Okay. So hopefully you were able to work through at least one example right now. So next, it's important to choose actions that you feel excited and confident about. So it's very important that when you choose objectives for your goals, that you select actions that you actually want to take and feel confident managing. So one of the biggest reasons people fail at their goals is that they think there's only one way to achieve them. And if the required actions for that one way, right, don't excite them, or worse, they overwhelm or intimidate you, they often give up entirely. The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all solution for reaching your goals. So choose actions that will align with your strengths and that you feel motivated to take. It's okay to create a path that is unique and works for you. Again, going back to that starting a business example, I've worked with so many women who have come to me and said they want to start a business, and this is one of the first things they say. I want to start a business, Alexis, but I don't want to make YouTube videos. Like, what am I going to do? Like, as though YouTube videos are the only way to market your business. And I tell them, well, if you don't want to make YouTube videos, then don't make YouTube videos. We can use a different platform. There's other platforms if you don't want YouTube. What's the problem with YouTube? Well, I don't want to show my face in any videos. Oh, okay. Well, that's even, now we're getting to like a different situation here, right? So, okay, you can make videos, maybe, okay, but you just don't want to show your face. So you just do top-down videos. Plenty of people do that. Again, plenty of people start businesses and you never see their face. You see like a little icon of them. You see like a little logo. You may see their hands in a video, or you may never see any part of them, and all of their, marketing content is either written or maybe it's an audio, like podcast, right? There's so many ways to do anything. So you want to choose the paths that work to what you're interested in and what your strengths are. So I'm going to give us a 3-minute timer here. And what I've given you in the workbook is a page where you can list out like up to 4 objectives with like different, and create an action plan for them. But I want you to just take one of those objectives that one objective you just worked on. And I want you to bring it into this page, write it on in one of the slots, and then come up with the action plan, how you're actually going to take action on it, and make sure that each action you put is something that you feel good about. And if you look at something, you go, I can't do this. I am not ever going to learn how to edit videos. Okay, so then maybe we're not going to do a YouTube then, right? Maybe you're going to start a podcast. Maybe you're going to do Instagram. You know what I'm saying? There's other options, right? The point is that you only want to be taking action on things that you feel good about, that you feel confident that you can do. Now, that doesn't mean that you're always going to know how to do everything, but you at least need to feel confident that you would be able to figure it out, right? So like, if let's say you want to start a website, and you don't know how to code and you're like, I do not know how to code. Well, the great thing is you don't have to know how to code anymore for websites. Like those years are long gone, right? So you just have to, you could use like, there's so many different editors or softwares and things like that do so much for you, right? Not to mention, you could also, there's always an option of being able to hire someone, right? If that was within your resources. So there's always a solution. You just have to be creative. Do not let some imaginary problem stop you from taking action. Oh, and you know what? One more thing I will say about this. I didn't put this on the slide, but I'm just thinking about it here on the workbook. If the objective that you are going to plan out right now is a routine or a system, right? A system and a routine are the same thing. I want you to list out the actions that belong to the system. If it's a habit in your little action plan area, I want you to identify what the action is that you're going to take and determine when you're going to take it in your day right now as your day exists. So is it going to be something where you have to put in a time slot to work on this thing? Or is it something where you can habit stack, right? Like listening to a book on tape while you're doing the dishes, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Where you can put things together so that it makes it easier for you to do it. So when it comes to a habit, there's not going to be lots of actions that you're listing out. There's really just going to be one action. But I want you to think strategically about where that action is going to go in your day. Because a lot of times with habits, it's easy for us to write, oh, this is the habit I want to start. But then we forget to like put it into our day somewhere where it belongs so we can get it done. Okay, so we're out of time now, but I'm going to move on. But that's just something else to keep in mind in case for anyone who did do a habit. Okay, so use the right tools to stay on track. Once you've mapped out your goals and objectives, staying organized is key. This is where a good planner can make the difference. So the Charmed Life Master Planner includes dedicated space for project planning, monthly task lists, and monthly trackers. These tools help you to break down your objectives into manageable steps and organize everything seamlessly so you always know the next right action to take. When you use a planner like this, your daily actions and your to-do list stay directly tied to your long-term goals, ensuring that every day you're moving closer to what you want to achieve. So a reminder here is that you should not be tracking your goals in a separate planner, right? If you want to have visibility on all your priorities and ensure that you're taking regular action on your goals, you need to use a functional planner system like the Master Planner that keeps everything together. There's no point in keeping all of the tasks related to your goals somewhere else that you're not seeing, because you need to integrate them into your daily life. So they need to be part of your existing planner system. So if you're using a planner that's just too small, too simple, right? It doesn't have the space. You need to upgrade to something like the Charmed Life Master Planner or create your own functional planning system, which I have videos on like how to create a functional planning system on my channel if you're interested in that. But that is going to be crucial that you keep your goals. They're not like some other area of your life that like when you have time, you're going to be able to work on. We need to integrate them into your existing life as it is, right? So here is a basic outline, right, of pages in the Master Planner and how they work to help you stay in touch with that big picture goal and bring, and really carry those actions down into your days. So on the left here, you'll outline your objectives across your year on my project planning matrix. So I have a project planning matrix inside the project planning section of the Master Planner where you are going to be able to outline your objectives and say when you're going to work on them across the year. Then you have a place for action plans. The project planning pages are where you're going to be able to list out these action plans. I know I gave you this little page here to start doing the work, but you are going to want to refine an action plan on a project planning page, right? Then you can assign tasks to the month that they belong to on the monthly tracker. So every month there is a tracker page that you see here in the center here at the bottom where you're able to assemble all of the actions that belong to that month, right? So again, you're still in touch with what those goals were for the year. You're bringing them down through project plans, taking them from the project plans and putting them on a tracker to say, these are the things I just need to focus on. I don't need to focus on the whole plan. These are the elements of the plan I need to focus on right now. Then you'll allocate tasks to your week, right? And I have a lot of different like weekly and daily agenda spreads. This is just one of the ones that I use, which is a 2-page spread where you can see on the weekly dashboard page, there's 2 to-do lists. There's one for business, there's one for personal, right? You have enough space to actually allocate tasks from that monthly task list, right? That tracker, and put it and say, this is the week I'm going to work on it. And then you can plan tasks to a day. So you've got the daily spaces too, where you can say, okay, this is important. It has to be one of my top 3 items today. And that is how you go from the big picture for your whole year to distilling it down to an actual day.